Bullet Train is one of the more enjoyable movies I've seen in theatre this year, but that's not quite the compliment it sounds like, considering that I've suffered through tedious garbage like Morbius, Thor Love and Blunder, and that painfully mediocre Buzz Lightyear film. A lot of what happens in this movie feels weightless, in the sense that some major events go down, and you find yourself not really caring about the outcome, because this movie's intent is quite clear on being an action comedy, so therefore the characters are mostly just caricatures, given too little time and depth to be emotionally invested in them. This is one of those action comedy movies where you're supposed to turn your brain off, and in that purpose it succeeds. For the most part, I was never bored because the movie has a good pace to it. Although there was one notable scene where two characters stopped what they were doing, even though the thing they were doing was urgent and they had no time to dick about. They decided now was a good time to stop and have some exposition, and also in the form of flashbacks rather than talking and walking, just to really make it feel like they're actually stopping what they're doing. And some of this exposition didn't really feel like it was needed. But I won't complain too much because the other moments of exposition in this movie were actually quite entertaining. So now to explain this all a bit deeper, I'm going to get into spoilers, so maybe exit at this station if you're not ready for the rest of the journey yet. I need to stress once more that I did have a decent time watching Bullet Train, and I need to stress that because it's going to seem like I have mostly negative things to say about this, but I will give you some reassuring words at the end. So, Brad Pitt's character. He's a hitman with a clever gimmick to his character, where most of the people he kills die by accident. It's funny enough, especially as it goes hand in hand from his character wanting to retire from a life of aggression and simply letting karma deal with the bad people in the world. So when this one Mexican guy tries to throw a knife at him, it bounces off his briefcase and stabs him in his own neck. That got a good laugh out of me. My only complaint about Brad's character is that we don't really know much about him, and we're never given any reason to care about his goal in the movie. We're just told that he needs to go and pick up a suitcase and deliver it somewhere. But to be honest, I really didn't find myself caring if he succeeded or not. Maybe it would have been better to give him the ulterior motive of just wanting to make it off the train alive so that he can finally retire. It was mentioned about his character, so why not focus on that? Because without that, we don't really have any reason to root for him, other than the fact that he's a likeable guy, I guess. Ultimately, I just wanted to feel like something that was happening mattered, even when the train crashes and gets derailed.
I gotta get off this train.
Everyone but Michael Shannon's character made it out without so much as a broken bone. Speaking of the other actors in this, Michael Shannon was some kind of Japanese-speaking Russian mob boss, I think. I enjoyed seeing him on the screen again. It wasn't his finest role ever, but he did a good job. And the same goes for Channing Tatum. He played a minor role and wasn't really needed in the movie, but it was fun to see him there regardless. I feel like people are going to either love or hate the two British characters. They're called Lemon and Tangerine. Tangerine, played by Aaron Taylor-Johnson, was your typical Cockney gangster. It was like a B-grade version of a character from Snatch. The perpetually angry Cockney dialogue did grate on me after a while, but the connection Tangerine had with Lemon really felt genuine to me. They had a really enjoyable rapport. This is one of those movies where you could imagine how next level the presentation could have been if it was directed by someone like Quentin Tarantino or Edgar Wright. The movie had a surprisingly well put together plot with clever intertwining storylines and event chains, but it just required a little more finesse just to take it to that special place. And no offense to the director, I forget his name, but with someone more talented steering the ship, the final product could have been taken to a unique place, as it had so much potential. I appreciate the movie for the intertwining stories. I just wish I cared more about these stories. Despite my review, if you're still looking for a reason to go see this, it's a Brad Pitt adventure comedy containing funny antics on a wacky Japanese bullet train, joined by classic Cockney characters and a funny Mexican guy death. The movie knows what it is, and I wasn't expecting more. It would have been a nice surprise, but that's not the point of this review. It is what it is, and what it is a 7 out of 10.